Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. Okay, so this video is entitled, Can You Live in an Old Motorhome? And what I mean by old motorhome, I mean practically vintage motorhome. This one is 37 years old. My daughter's one is 36 years old or 35 years old, something like that, 34 years old, I don't know, but old. And the short answer is yes, of course you can. You can live in any vehicle really, but it all depends on what your needs are, what your budget is, and lots of other things to consider really. But I'm going to take you through this van and how we live and what we have in the van, upgrades we've done since we've been in the van, which has been 2 years. If you're considering buying an older motorhome, and I mean Talbot Express, that kind of old, then things that you should look for before buying, etc. So very quickly, this motorhome is a, what the frick is that? Is a Fiat Ducato Auto Stratus, which I think originally would have been, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 4 berth? 4 berth, which means it'll sleep 4 people, just about. I'd say 2 adults, 2 kids, possibly. It's 6.5 meters long, which is a decent size. It has a 1.9 petrol engine, just a straight 8 valve, nothing spectacular, carburetor, all that kind of thing. We'll come on to that in a bit. On an Alco chassis, which I believe is like a lightweight chassis. Now a lot of modern day motorhomes are rated at 3.5 ton, and then anything over 3.5 ton you have to have your C1 entitlement on your license. If you don't have that, you can only drive up to a 3.5 ton. This is a 3.1 ton. And given the size of it, because it's quite large, that's quite surprising. But there is a whole thing with laden weights and unladen weights, gross weights, you know, that kind of thing. But the important thing to remember is what the unladen weight is, which is when it's completely empty, and what the full weight is, the gross max, whatever it's called, weight is, which is 3.1. Now I do believe on these, I don't have the handbook for this, I have tried to find out what the unladen weight is. But my daughter's Talbot Express, it was quite low. It was like literally under 2 ton unladen, which meant she had quite a lot of what they call payload, right? Quite a lot, literally about a ton or just over a ton of payload. So it's that she could put in it, you know, weight, extra weight she could put in it, right? I know that a lot of modern day motorhomes, there's something to consider. They might have an unladen weight of like 3 tons and then the max weight of 3.5 tons. So you've only got like 500 kilograms. And by the time you've got yourself in it, I mean, I speak for myself, I weigh probably about 90 kilos. I'm not going to say what my wife weighs, but you get the picture. So you're putting your kids in it, you're putting yourselves in it, your dog, and all your bits and bobs. It doesn't leave you a lot. So it's something to consider when buying a motorhome for sure, or any van. So before we go on to the layout of this van, which I have changed a lot, a hell of a lot, let's talk about that engine quick. Now this is a 1.9 petrol carburetor, blah, blah, blah. My daughter's Talbot Express is a 2.5 diesel non-turbo. The difference is hers will do better on hills slightly and does better miles per gallon. She'll get about 30 miles per gallon out of hers. Downside is it sounds like a tractor. It really does. This one will do about 20 miles per gallon, but is really quiet and smooth. The performance of these is pretty bad. I mean, it will cruise along at about 60. I've had it up to 70 downhill. But it will cruise at 60, but as soon as you get to a hill, then it struggles. I've been down to like 10 miles an hour, some of the hills in Wales, down to 10 miles an hour first gear. But it will get uphill. I haven't come across anything it won't get up, but you do get kind of a, you know, a train of traffic behind you when you're in that situation, which is never fun. But generally, it's okay. I think what I'm saying is don't expect to get anywhere too quickly. Now, like I just mentioned, fuel costs, you're talking 20 miles to the gallon as opposed to 30 miles a gallon on the diesel, but petrol is cheaper, quite a bit cheaper in some places. It kind of almost evens out. I reckon we've just done a 1,000-mile round trip actually, which you can see some of in the last videos, and I was getting about 280 to 300 miles per tank, and that's a lot of motorway driving. It's always going to do a bit better on the motorways, isn't it? And we are pretty much loaded up to our full weight. So if you're considering buying something like this is a Fiat Ducato. There's a Peugeot version, and the more popular, or the, you know, there's more of them, the Talbots. They're all the same basically. It's the same engines, it's the same everything, whether it's a Talbot, a Fiat, or the Peugeot. I don't think there's a Citroen. There might be, I can't remember. Getting parts, I found there's not so many Fiats. There's more Talbots, but it's the same parts. So when I'm looking for parts for the engine and stuff like that, I just put in Talbot Express and it comes up and it's exactly the same. So getting onto it, things to look for. What you'll find is with motorhomes is generally, which is a good thing, the mileages are usually really low. They're really like under their average mileage. This, when I bought this, it was 2 years ago, so the van was 35, or might have even been 34, and it had 54,000 genuine miles on it, which is ludicrously low. The good thing is, if you don't know, you can just take the registration of a vehicle, put it into the government website thing, you can just Google it, and you can check its MOT history, which obviously is a must to do anyway, and then you can see what it's failed on and what years it's passed and things like that. So when I bought this, I went through all the MOT history, and I could see that and it tells you the mileage it's done each year as well. So 1 year it's done 1,000 miles, that year it did 600 miles, it did 1,200 miles that year. It was hardly getting used, and then you can see all the things it had done, like the brakes. It was very minimal with this van. It had some brake shoes done, it had, like, you know, some gaiters, some rubber bushes, really minimal stuff. So I knew that it's pretty solid. No welding, had welding, sorry, but a long time ago, and it's been fine. As far as the engine side of things go, it's good to know what you're looking for. I have a little bit of knowledge. I'm not, you know, a mechanic by any means, but I mean, just looking for the obvious things. I could see that the hoses had been replaced, and asked for the service history and stuff like that. So I knew that it had an oil change recently, and all those kind of things. And you can like do a visual check of the engine. It did have an oil leak, and he was upfront about it, so I knew about it. But it was just the rocker cover, so which we've kind of fixed. It's almost fixed, but it's been going fine for years. One of the really most important things, the cam belt. The petrol engine has a timing chain, which is a whole different thing. Probably will never need to be changed unless it's starting to rattle or anything like that. So another top tip is to check the tyres. A lot of people don't know this, but tyres do have a shelf life. What I mean by that is, whether they are worn down or not, there is a date on there. I'm not sure what the interval is you're supposed to change. I'm not sure whether it's 10 years or something like that. But the tyres on this van one of the tyres was 17 years old, and it blew when I was taking it out of storage, taking it back to the house. It did actually blow, and I had to get the breakdown out because I couldn't get the knots off because they were rusted on. And he said, yeah, that's a really old tyre. So check the dates on your tyres, especially if they've been sat a long time as well, because they can go out of shape and all that kind of thing. We just changed all the tyres before we left for full-time van life, just for peace of mind. So, and it was only, I say only, it was less than £500 for 5 tyres. And good tyres as well, and they have to be commercial tyres as well. Remember that, people. Some people don't even know that. The habitation side of things, this is something I learned buying the 2 vans. Our van, older than Harley's, but it was painted. It was blue originally, and it had been painted in coach paint, and we had no ingress of water at all. I've painted it again since anyway. It's now white, so it's had quite a lot of paint on it. We don't get any leaks at all. Nothing was rotten, everything was solid, and I think that's an important thing, especially for these older vans, because they have like an aluminium skin on them, and what happens over time is they get little tiny holes in, corrode, they break down and stuff like that. The seals can go and all that stuff. Harley's van we bought wasn't painted, and you can see this on past videos if you go to the playlist under Hope, because our van is called Hope, or we renamed it No Hope under our breaths. Was rotten as a pear, never been painted, and I had to literally dismantle the whole van and rebuild it again because it was so bad. It looked okay when we looked at it. There was a couple of soft spots, and you know, we were new to it obviously, and I was like, oh well, there's a couple of little bits that need replacing. But when I actually got the van back and we started taking bits out, it was completely rotten. So that's something else to consider. If you do buy an old van, it might be worth considering painting it anyway. With what paint, you ask? Well, I just used a coach paint. That seemed to work really well. The roof, we didn't do it on this one, but on Harley's one, we painted it in a stuff called Chromopol, which is actually a roofing sealing paint. It's got like fiberglass in it, and it's very, very good. My Max Air fan did leak when I first put it in, and I just put Chromopol around it over a year ago. It hasn't leaked since. Really good stuff, highly recommend it. Spun you round, and you can see that the interior of this van, even though it is a 1989, it doesn't look like a 1989 motorhome at all. If you've looked at any inside, they're usually quite brown and dingy and all that kind of thing. I have absolutely gutted this van out and rebuilt it from scratch, pretty much, and obviously painted it all and made it into something that suits our needs. Hello there. As you can see, regulars to the channel would have seen that many times. And that is another brilliant thing about these older vans, is you can actually chop them about even, and make them your own. Going back to Harley's van in the state that was in, the good thing about these, they're just a big wooden framed box basically, so you can actually just rip them out and put what you want in them. So for instance, here would have been the sink and the cooker. I think there was a sink unit here, there was a cooker top here, the fridge was there, and the oven was there, and there was a gas fire there, and there was like a vanity unit like there, and there was another like kind of like vanity unit here. These are all original, these ones. I kept all these and took the gas fire out and put a new door on there, which gave us an extra cupboard. Ripped all of that out, put a worktop in there because Tracy wanted worktops for cooking. Put a bigger fridge in there. This is our electric cupboard here with all our leisure battery and inverter and everything in there. And then we redid the sofa, so this would have been a dinette. So I put an extra piece in there with an extra seat in there, and the diesel heaters in there with access, water boilers under there. There is an LPG tank under there, but it's coming out. This chair, you can't see, it is a captain's chair, it does turn round. And down to Mrs. H's instructions, she wanted a full-size sink. So this is a full-size household sink in here with a full-size 600 by whatever it is, 800 unit in there. And the bathroom was pretty much laid out like this anyway. So we've got wardrobe here, water tanks under there, and then we built all of this with our nice sink, and we have obviously full-size shower, proper toilet, rainfall shower, all of that stuff. So pretty fully equipped like a house. So it basically is a tiny home on wheels. Our TV situation is purely a projector screen, which comes down like that. Projector sits up there onto a big screen there, and obviously we sit here, watch TV, play PlayStation, whatever. Now our bed is basically in the ceiling. We didn't want to go through the hassle of making that up every night, and Mrs. H didn't want to sleep in the overcab bed. I don't blame her, it's like a coffin. So I installed an electric bed, and you just simply push a button, this comes down, and there's our bed. And you can get to the overcab bed through this bed, easy peasy for the little one when she comes over. And as the bed can only come down to the worktop level, you can actually have somebody sleep under here. Acts like a bunk bed type of situation. And in the ceiling, we have some lights. We have lots of sockets. We've got a double socket under there, you can see. There's another double socket over here, which you can see. There's another double socket over here, you can see. There's another double socket under there. And there's a double socket in there, which the fridge is plugged into as well. Lots of USB sockets, which, again, if you're doing this from scratch, or well, not from scratch, but if you're doing this and renovating from ripping it all out, you can put in what you like, which is another beautiful thing about these. Got Max Air fan up there as well, which I installed. What my point is if you buy an older motorhome, and I'll go into costs in a minute, it's very easy just to gut it out and then redesign it to what you need. Everybody's needs are different, everybody wants different things. Some people don't want the big sink. My daughter has a tiny little sink, she's fine with that. Some people don't want the basin in the bathroom, they just use the kitchen one, you know, whatever you need. We did look at panel vans, obviously, because that was the first thought, was like, oh, we'll get a big Sprinter van or something like that. So we went down to a motorhome shop, yeah, camper van place, and had a look at a few like already, you know, coach built ones, factory built ones if you like. But as soon as we walked in, we were like, this ain't gonna work. It works for other people, not saying it wouldn't. I'm not saying it wouldn't work for you. And I know there's a little bit of stigma between some panel van owners and motorhome owners, like we're not real van lifers or something, but we're all doing the same thing. We're just living in different types of homes. It's a bit like saying, you know, terraced house owner doesn't like a bungalow owner because it's not a real house. I don't know, it's weird. So for us, this gave us enough space to have everything we need because we literally have everything that a house would have apart from a washing machine. Some vans have washing machines though, you know, you can do it. But we just use a laundrette, that's fine. Water, we have 100 litres of water. I think it's a 90 litre water tank which is under there. The boiler carries 10 litres, and then whatever's in your pipe work as well. It's heated off the diesel heater via our bubble van setup, which I don't recommend. I'm getting it out as soon as I can. It is a nightmare, but it's working for the time being. Sometimes. Currently no gas at all. I wanted to get the gas out because it's old. I didn't want to like have the hassle of carrying gas bottles, and by getting rid of the gas bottles we inherited a locker, because now we use the gas locker to put our hoses in, our extension leads and tools and stuff like that, which is really great. We use induction hob for cooking mostly. Sometimes we use this portable gas one as well, so we have the induction hob portable, that one. There was an induction hob in here, but it got smashed, so now it's just a glass chopping board covering the hole. But I will probably reinstate that once we get our bigger battery. Talking about power, we have 700 watts of solar on the roof at the moment, 2 MPPT chargers, so I can upgrade the solar, which I probably will do in the future. And we've got a 200 amp hour lithium battery, but in about a week we've got a 628 amp hour lithium battery coming to replace that. So, and we have an EcoFlow as well, Delta 2, so that will give us a total of 700 roughly amp hours of power, fully charged, with our 700 watts of solar, which I may upgrade as well. Which brings us on to another bit of advice. If you're going to go full time in a van, have as much power as you possibly can afford and possibly fit. You can't have enough. Okay, so on to cost. So this van cost us, well, it was advertised at £7,000. We bought it for just under that, I think, and it had a full MOT, like I said, 54,000 miles on it. Bags of history, it had a big pack of history, which I still haven't read through all of it, but you could see it'd been looked after, and it was kind of renovated in their way anyway. It was all painted out, and it was nice and clean and tidy. It was blue, not our thing, but we changed that anyway. But on top of that, I don't know exactly what we spent, but I did gut the whole thing out. You can see the whole process on the playlist, Amazing Grace, but we've probably spent, I would say, 15,000 probably on all the changes we made. The big ones were like the bed was quite expensive, the solar and the MPPTs and obviously the batteries, all that can add up quite quickly. 20,000, maybe 20,000 plus. But then you look at the price of new motorhomes, I mean, you can go up to 100 grand for or more for a new motorhome. Some of the panel vans that you see, we were looking at panel vans for like 20,000 for like a 25-year-old Sprinter that had been renovated, things like that. I think we looked at a Mercedes motorhome which was 20 years old, and they wanted 19,000 for that. But I feel the money we've spent and the spec we've got is really, really cool. There's still upgrades to do, but I think you're always going to be doing it. You know, I think you're always going to be like, oh, let's just upgrade this, let's just change that, let's just, like you do in a house anyway. Thing is, if you find the right one, you can pick them up. I mean, if you go on Marketplace and things like that, you can pick up like Talbot Expresses or Auto Stratuses or whatever for around the same price. I've seen them for like 5 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand, depending on the condition and stuff like that. You could probably find a good one that you could just move into. You could just get in it and just do it, and then do it on the road, just upgrade things as you go along. I was fortunate enough that I had some funds, and we had not a lot of time, 6 months to do 2 vans, but I was just banging at it every single day, and then we were able to get all the bits we needed to get on the road. Obviously since then we've done further upgrades, but we were on the road almost as an off-grid machine. But you could definitely find something that you could get into quite quickly if you were just going to go like, I just want to get a van, I just want something that's going to work, I can sleep in it, and I can cook in it, and I can do shower in it, and all those kind of things. For it's still not that cheap, but relatively cheap. Also, my advice, if you're going to buy an old vehicle like this, and you don't really know what you're looking at, take someone with you that does. You can hire mechanics to come out and look at things. Obviously, it's never a guarantee because you never know what's going to happen. Harley, bless her heart, had nothing but problems with hers in the beginning. You can see all that as well on her channel and on here. Loads of things went wrong. The clutch went, drive shafts. I mean, it was just like horrendous, but it's all been done now. It's okay. There is a little bit of an element of luck, I suppose, in it, but if you're just sensible about it, do your research and just expect to spend some money on fixing it and stuff, but you would with any vehicle anyway. I mean, I've seen horror stories of like relatively new vans with engines blowing up. There's YouTubers, Happy Days I think is one of them, with their Luton van blew 2 engines, you know, a lot newer than this one. So sometimes it is a little bit of luck, but my advice would be don't be afraid to do it. Parts are still readily available for these vans. You can get them. I haven't had a problem getting anything. Sometimes new parts can be a problem, but there's plenty of second-hand parts and stuff like that out there. So yeah. Anyway, to sum up, so yeah, can you live in an old motorhome? Of course you can. You can live in any vehicle really. You can live in any motorhome, any van. You know, it depends on what your needs are. You just make it how you want to make it. Park ups and stuff, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different thing at the moment, but we don't find it difficult to park up anywhere. Just be considerate when you do. Don't leave a mess. Don't park outside someone's living room window, you know, or block their drive or anything like that. There is places to park. You're not always going to get the scenic park ups. 2 years we've been doing this now and haven't had a problem really with any of that. So yeah, of course you can. Like I say, we love living in this van. This is our home. We've made it ours, and we will continue to upgrade it and change things as we see fit. But yeah, we absolutely love it, and we've been to places we would never have been if it wasn't for this van. We've been all around the country. Haven't done Scotland yet, we're going to, and we haven't been abroad yet, we're going to. But yeah, if it wasn't for this van, we wouldn't have done 80% or even 90% of the stuff we've done and been to and seen. So yeah, we absolutely adore it. I hope this video was informative for you. Not too much waffling. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and God bless you. See you in the next one.
We'll ride these roads forever, side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take, this van called Amazing Grace, no chains will break.